just trying to get moving. Trying to stuff my face real quick.
Calling to order Orleans Parish School Board Accountability and Charters Committee meeting for November 18th, 2025. The time is now 1:45. May I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Eames,
Here.
Mr. Parker, Mr. Zervigon, Ms. Griffin, Mr. Marshall, Ms. Spiro, Ms. Bodwin, also present, Ashley Harper, Board Council, you have a quorum.
I will turn it over to our counsel for rules of public comments.
Thank you, Vice President Eames. Anyone wishing to speak with regard to items on the agenda should fill out a public comment card and submit it to the board's secretary. Cards will be received up to 1/2 hour after the meeting begins. Each person shall be permitted to speak up to 2 minutes as established by the chair. I will recognize the speaker and give the speaker permission to proceed. The speaker shall state their name and address for the board records. Those who have a group concern are encouraged to select a spokesperson from the group to address the concern. Speakers are expected to be as concise as possible and present their comments and questions in an objective manner in accordance with good taste and decorum and without reference to or insinuations against the board, its members, or school system employees. Disruptions or disorderly conduct at the committee meeting will constitute grounds for the presiding officer to ask security personnel to remove the offender.
Thank you. Do we have any additions, deletions, or modifications to the agenda?
We do not.
Thank you. Hearing no additions, deletions, or modifications to the agenda, may I have a motion to adopt the agenda as provided?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Board President Bodwin and second by Ms. Bureau. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving back to our attorney.
It is recommended that the committee adopt the minutes of the October 28th, 2025 School Accountability and Charters Committee meeting. May I have a motion to adopt the minutes as presented?
So moved. Waive the reading.
Second.
It's been moved by Vice President Eames and seconded by Ms. Bureau. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the minutes have been adopted.
Moving on to 3.1, School Support Update. It's my pleasure to recognize Dr. Kelly Jordan for the monthly school support update.
Thank you, Mrs. Eames, and good afternoon, board members and board council. The agenda for today, I will cover a couple of items under Commitment 3 in our Strategic Plan of Action, our regular system-wide needs program updates, and then a couple of updates from our local education agency charter support services department. So first up, within Commitment 3 of our Strategic Plan of Action, this is just a screenshot from the actual strategic plan showing the desired outcomes for this commitment. Earlier this year at the board orientation, actually in February, I shared that we were starting a journey of making a migration from our old data system, Efforts to Outcomes, to Salesforce. You'll see here the goals of making that migration, being able to enhance our outcome data, improved efficiency for our case managers and their documentation, seamless data integration, and to streamline referrals. And so over the course of 4 months, several teams helped us to craft our new monitoring case management migration. And this was officially launched to our schools on September 2nd of this year. You'll see here, this is an example of a dashboard that we now have access to. Years ago, the Student Hearing Office migrated from paper referrals to Salesforce, and the same thing with our case management services, but we were using this external database alongside other organizations, and we had to always leverage an external consultant for updates and things of that nature, and it just made it a little bit difficult for us. So now we are in Salesforce like our colleagues. I'm very excited about that. You'll see here, there's only minimal data we'll share about the case management because of student privacy, but you will see the different referral pathways here. the services, either Quick Connect or case management, and the reasons. Next up, related to Goal 3.3 within our Strategic Plan of Action Strategy 2, we have our disciplinary conferences. Of course, those take place under the direction of Mr. LaRon Creighton in the Office of Discipline and Behavior Support. As of November 7th, our Student Hearing Office has convened 286 disciplinary conference hearings, and those reflect a continued year-over-year trend in which the disciplinary conferences, which again are a proactive measure, outpace the expulsion hearings, and we've had 137. And then the last update in this section, our partnership with the Center for Restorative Approaches. We are still working with them. We have a formal partnership whereby our schools can request services from CRA to convene restorative circles, another proactive measure to address discipline issues or any kind of at-risk behaviors, if you will, prior to them getting larger. Okay. Next up are the monthly system-wide needs program updates. The first slide, as you're used to seeing, is the fund balance and spending against the approved budget. One thing I want to note here, I don't remember the month off the top of my head, but we started reporting on a monthly basis after the first update to policy DCBB, which is what guides the program. And within that update, we have increased transparency. So that's us reporting to you monthly. But one of the things that I think we've realized is while we are required to report the actual fund balance and report the spending, there's still something missing in this story as it doesn't tell the best picture of what's to come for the year. And so right now, there's $12 million in the fund balance. However, when you take out all of the expenditures for this school year that are already planned to go to schools, you are left with a little less than $5 million, which is what we've been talking about majority of the school year. You all as a board talked about it when there were different scenarios to get money to schools, but there is about $8.3 million that will be going out this year. That includes, oh, I didn't bring my numbers. That includes almost $2 million for high-cost grants. That includes a little over $1 million for attendance grants. And we also have, let me actually show you on, let me show you on another slide. These are just the different programs that we have, the expenditures to date, and then the number in parentheses is what's left on their contract. But I want to highlight one more thing that'll connect to the last slide. These are the Grow Your Own grants from when System-Wide Needs programs stepped in when grant funding was cut by the federal government. These are our English Learner and Attendance campaign. Next month, you'll get an update or a request for a renewal for the Career Center CEA. And here, where you see the English Learner Specialized Programming Pilot. So one of the things to highlight is these 4 vendors serve probably close to 30 schools. So their invoicing doesn't necessarily come in on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. It takes a little bit more time given the number of schools that they serve. But we have accounted for all of the dollars that are left on their contracts from last year if they were on a cycle that ended in fiscal year 25, as well as for the upcoming year if they are transitioning this year to a fiscal year 26 contract, okay? So that being said, I'm actually gonna just go back to this and repeat it one more time. As of right now, there are $12 million in the fund balance. The fund balance is what we're required to report on due to policy DCBB. However, there are over $8 million of expenditures that are planned to go to schools this year. that are already accounted for. That will leave a fund balance of a little less than $5 million. And my recommendation will continue to be that we take that $5 million, spread it out over the course of round 3, which is, I think, $1.6 million a year, bringing the total annual spend for round 3 to roughly $6 million. You've heard me say this before, round 3, we will not have the same large balance that we had before. We had unique circumstances with COVID, ESSER offsets, but once this is spent down, it's spent down. Once that $4.6 or $7 million is spread out across round 3 and it's spent, if there's round 4, it will not be there, okay? And you'll just be looking at the annual spend. All right. Next, just school level participation. You'll see these numbers since the last report. 4 more schools have accessed the program. The funding partners grown from year 1 of round 2 from 4 to 24. And these are our continued round 3 actions. I'm sorry, round 2, year 3 actions. Now we're on to round 3 updates. Just a couple of updates to our timeline. We originally planned to bring the draft plan to you all in November, seeking final approval in December. And that would have given us a runway to get contracts up and running. However, we do not need the long runway to get contracts up and running because we have things already in progress. And so that's allowing us to take just a little bit more time having one-on-one and small group conversations with school leaders, with the partners that are funded, with leaders who, maybe haven't accessed the program or think that the funds should be reallocated to back to facilities, but just allowing us to have those robust conversations over the next 2 months and put together a plan that we hope to have approved in March. Okay. Last but not least, in our LEA Charter School Services, I'm very excited to present to you all, you've seen this in board updates, but about our high dosage tutoring initiative. And so we have 15 LEA hired tutors that have been hired by the district for this program, and they're spread out across our LEA schools, Bethune and Ben Franklin, along with the Leah Chase School. On my team, our LEA and Charter Services Support Team, I think I got it right. They help to implement the program by doing all of the hiring, all the onboarding, and then they're providing support, coaching on the ground in the schools, fidelity checks, and more. A highlight here, so you'll see the state allocation for high-dosage tutoring was about $100,000. We very strategically leveraged Title I dollars to build a more robust program across all 3 schools. And that looks like an almost $350,000 allocation per school site. Or I shouldn't say allocation, spend per school site. And the 2 options are to use a state-approved vendor or to hire tutors, and we chose the route of hiring tutors. And so you'll see the total spend there, again, from our Title I, which is shown in the blue, versus the LDOE allocation. So excited. Early indicators of growth and engagement. These numbers are all reflective of iReady. 100% of HDT, so the high dosage tutoring students at Bethune, have improved in at least one reading domain. At Ben Franklin Elementary, 62% of students receiving tutoring have advanced 1 reading placement level. And at the Leah Chase School, you'll see a range of 51% to 67% mastery across comprehension standards. And then there have been math gains across all sites. So again, really promising data across all 3 sites. And I think it's important to note, too, that this program, this initiative that's being supported at both Leah Chase and our LEA schools, covers several domain strategies within our strategic plan of action, which you'll see here. As always, with any program, we always reflect what's working, what's not working, what do we need to change to make things better. And so these are just a couple of areas where we would like to improve the program. You'll see with family engagement, getting more reporting out, thinking of different ways for students to retain the vocabulary that they're learning in tutoring, aligning our pacing guides because of variability in diagnostic baselines. So when those actual iReady diagnostics or progress monitoring are given, and then making sure that we have backup plans when the tutors are unable to be there. You all know I love a testimonial, so I'm not going to read all of these out loud, but I do want to read two very quickly. So one from a Bethune third grader who said they can now subtract with regrouping, a skill they struggled with in the past. She learned the visual way to subtract with regrouping with base 10 blocks and then transitioned to the algorithm of the process with success. She says that her tutor makes it easy for her to understand by giving her multiple methods to solve the problem. And then from Dr. Brooks at Ben Franklin Elementary, the high-dosage tutoring teachers have strengthened student learning and provided consistent support to teachers in the classroom. Their collaboration has enhanced instructional quality, deepened student engagement, and contributed to measurable academic growth across the campus. So really, really great testimonials coming from the program. And I think I'll also just say this is the power, this is the benefit of being in the LEA, okay? We are able to pool our resources together and provide high-quality support services to our schools. Next steps, looking ahead, so mid-year diagnostics, regrouping our tutoring cohorts, deepening coaching cycles, and improving family engagement. Next up, just our next portrait of a graduate pep talk series. So we had our second for the year at Warren Easton High School, and this one was centered around how strong leadership drives success and the importance of self-awareness in leadership. I had the opportunity to attend. There were almost 30 students there, and they asked the most amazing questions. These were our three panelists: Morgan Shannon from the Children, Youth, and Planning Board, Sean Mena, State Representative, and Dr. Davion Baker, scholar, writer, and child advocate. And you'll see pictures here from that pep talk. And student feedback. One I want to talk about very briefly. It was so powerful to be in the room and hear Representative Mena talk about his personal journey and the importance of failure. And so one student said here in the middle, State Representative Mena inspired me the most because of his talk on failure. It's okay to fail and try again. Your mistakes and failures build you and help motivate you. A true leader never gives up on the change they want to see. So really great feedback from the students. We won't have one this November. The next one will be in December, and we'll share that at the top of the year. And then last but not least, I know we are not in our traditional order, so you all have already recommended that this be passed on to the board, but the fine arts donation from the Country Music Association, we're very grateful for, and this will allow us to provide mid-year professional development that will be open to our LEA schools as well as other schools, and have a spring fine arts festival. So more to come on that, and that concludes my presentation.
Dr. Jordan, for all the wonderful things we're doing across the district and providing for all children, and the collaborative that you have with all of the CMOs. Thank you very much. And thank you to CMOs for investing in our children and trusting our admin staff to deliver, which is obvious you're doing. So thank you. No questions? We're gonna, okay, Mrs. Zervigon.
It's a question about the system-wide needs program. Yeah, I like that we're addressing the fund balance, looking at moving it out, getting it done in a timely way, which was definitely something we had worked a lot on. And I was wanting to understand the cadence of it. So you say that $8 million has been approved for use this year. And I think you mentioned that a lot of it is then response to invoices coming in for the services that the approved program has provided you?
It just depends. We have a wide variety of situations going on. For some programs, it absolutely is invoices, and it takes a little bit longer. So we can't say, hey, we can use this money for something else on their contract because we're just not sure how much of it they'll spend. Some of our programs are on different cycles. So last month is when we started to show you kind of the difference of what it looks like when some programs are receiving or invoicing us on one fiscal year and then have a contract change in the same system-wide needs program round, okay, but another dollar amount to be allocated. But more than anything, maybe I can say it best this way. The round two plan overall was $17 million. That's what was approved by the board for spending over the course of 3 years. As that balance strategically grew for this year, okay, we have $8 million that's directly tied to programs that are either currently happening or will be modified in December and getting that money out, the Career Center being an example of one. So $8 million will be out by June 30th, 2026.
By June 30th, 2026. And some of those are grants that go out without an invoice to run programming as well, right?
Correct. We have two school grant programs right now. So we talked about last month, the high-cost grants to help schools fill that gap, and then also our Everyday Counts attendance grants. And so we hope to have award notification information to schools before we go on the Thanksgiving break. But to your point, those are very different in that the schools are not invoicing us directly. We are providing a one-time grant funding for that particular area.
Do they know if they've gotten the award yet?
No, we will. We are working to get those award notifications out before Thanksgiving. One thing I can tell you, though, if you remember last month, I referenced there were 15 awards, and we ended up getting 140 applications. The team had to do a lot of combing through, but after doing so, of the 140, there were 100 that were actually eligible based on jurisdiction, okay? Meaning they were new to the school this year and therefore eligible. By the second review, there are about 53 applications in total that will be funded, that we expect to fund, barring any issues with the scoring. And the second layer was making sure that the actual exceptionalities qualified for this particular grant. It was not open to all exceptionalities, the ones that, tend to cost the most, autism and related disorders. So that 140 first went to 100, and now it's down to 53. But barring any significant issues with applications during this last part of the review, we expect to award the 53 schools.
Okay,
Or
sounds
53
good.
applications,
All right,
it's not
then
53 schools.
So then by November, then that is done. We had the other programs, which are really wonderful, the priorities that we had talked about through the whole process. So I like the way this is going. This is a nice improvement in terms of seeing exactly what's going on, seeing the money going out. So that thumbs up. Yeah.
And we'll continue to work on our reporting. And I think Mr. Marshall gave us some feedback either last month or the month before. We do take that serious, as well as our feedback from school leaders. And so we'll continue to think of ways to improve our reporting and make sure everyone is clear exactly what's happening with the program.
Thank you, Dr. Jordan.
This concludes my presentation.
Thank you, appreciate you. Next, we'll move on to 3.2, and I'm hoarse. Data accountability and portfolio updates from Mr. Max Day will provide this information. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Max Day. I am the Chief of Data Accountability and Portfolio, and I just have a few quick updates for you all today. As we did last month, we are going to start by seeing the good, I personally saw the good on Saturday, November 1st, when I went to the Ignite High School Showcase. And it was really interesting because this time I went to an event like this kind of with a parent lens, but not all the way. We've gotten very close to a Family Through the Son of a Saint program, and so he is currently an 8th grader at Arthur Ashe. So when I was at this event, even though I'm the accountability portfolio guy and I think I know our schools, right, I got to put that lens on and say, like, what about your school is going to help this kid shine? And the thing that I found just so honestly exhilarating is that there was something at every table that we stopped at. We had participation from every single high school in the city. And then I was also with somebody who has not been exposed to a New Orleans high school since they graduated from a New Orleans high school in 2006. And their feedback was, I'm shocked at just how many options and choices there are. You know, so I think I saw two things. I saw a bunch of schools coming together to put their best foot forward for parents, show parents what they can do to help their kids shine. And then I also saw a portfolio that's offering options to really meet the needs of our community. So that is how I saw the good on Saturday, November 1st. I will keep sharing these. But if you guys have an opportunity to really like dig into the programming at your schools, it goes much further than a top line number or just something you've heard about the school. Our schools are doing really amazing things. All right, 4 quick updates. We will do compliance and accountability. I will give you a quick update on the request for applications process. We'll talk through the fall 2025 renewal process. And then as we've mentioned before, we are currently working on revisions to the CSAF. I want to tell you where we are with that timeline and when we expect to wrap up that process. Okay, in terms of our notices of non-compliance, these are the same. They remain unchanged. That does not mean that work is not happening in these areas. New Orleans Charter Math and Science High School is engaged in the corrective action process. It's just a process that is going to take some time, but they are moving through the process. LB Landry High School, again, this was a notice of non-compliance that was triggered by the LDOE beginning a review, and once the corrective actions from that review have been fulfilled and the LDOE lets us know about it, we will close out that notice of non-compliance. In terms of the 2025 request for applications process, this is the new charter application process. We run this annually. Tonight, this evening at 5:30 p.m., we will have the public hearing for the only school that has applied during this round. That'll start at 5:30. After that, the school that is applying will then go through the capacity interviews where they work with our third-party evaluator Our third-party evaluator will evaluate both their application, but also their capacity in a few scenario-based exercises. Then on December 10th, our applicants will get that feedback back from our evaluator. Our evaluator will provide final recommendations on December 19th. And then when we come back from holiday break and get to the next board cycle, we will be presenting our recommendations to the board. Fall 2025 renewal process. We talked about this last time. Just want to give you a quick update. Last time, we were waiting on scores to be released. We understand that the state is holding a press conference on Thursday, so scores should be available very soon. That was the part that we were waiting on. Once we have our scores, we will be able to run the calculations to understand where our schools fall in terms of SPS, SPRI, Progress Index, and come to our renewal recommendations. As such, our plan is to bring those recommendations to you the week of the 11th. Schools that are renewed, they will then have their new contracts executed next summer. As a reminder, these are the schools that are currently up for renewal. Once we get the 2025 scores, those are the schools that we'll be running the math for. These are the schools that will be bringing recommendations back to you for in December. All right, and then lastly, the CSAF revision timeline. Given the changes to statewide accountability, we need to update our accountability framework as well. This is the framework that, among other things, will drive renewal decisions in coming years. Because of that, and given where we are with the time, there's a world, or this CSAF, this revised CSAF that we're working on, is intended to guide renewal decisions in the fall. we need to get the academic performance framework nailed down as soon as possible. We have been meeting with the leaders. In fact, I have logged over 1,100 one-on-one minutes, 6 hours of office hours, 180 minutes of small group meetings, and 120 minutes of whole group instruction with our school leaders at school leader meetings. I did another 90 this morning, but I didn't update my totals. But we are engaging with our leaders. We have put out a draft framework for the academic framework. We are getting feedback, we are reflecting, we are revising, we are in the drafting process. We hope to have the academic framework finalized by the 31st of January. In the spring, there are also a number of other components that make up a complete CSAF. Our intent is to hold 4 working groups that will help us flesh out the rest of that CSAF, looking at both our organizational framework and indicators, our financial framework and indicators, meaning our expectations of schools, what we're going to measure them against, what we actually want to spend their time on. We'll spend our time together figuring out what those indicators are this spring from January to March, and then we'll do another drafting cycle, taking that feedback into account, combining that with our academic framework that we're drafting right now. We'll bring that all together in the month of April, and then we hope to bring this back to have a fully finalized CSAF by May 31st. Okay. It was a very speedy few updates. Any questions?
A lot of great information. We commend you just coming in. We were fortunate that you already had a background and knew a lot of this before becoming a part of this administrative team. So thank you. Thank you for the work you've done, and we look forward to hearing more. I'm very excited about the fact that you are in the schools, working with the leaders. We've been very fortunate with the progress that they're all making as far as letter grades, but it's going to change next year, unfortunately, with this new piece we've been throwing upon us. I see your hand. I see you. I know you can't wait, but I just want to say thank you. Mr. Marshall.
In the spring, are you going to be communicating with our schools about the importance of having something in the CSAF around the portrait of a graduate?
We can certainly discuss that in all of the working groups that we have this spring, but yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay, thank you.
President Bodwin.
The CSAF revision is no joke, huh?
It is no joke.
That's a lot of work. So I appreciate it. I know you're putting a ton of time in. I know our schools are as well. So I just want to thank you for that. But for the renewal cycle, I know we never expect surprises, but we don't have any schools in comprehensive evaluation this year, right?
Do not.
And we don't anticipate having, because that sometimes changes overnight when scores come back.
We do not.
Okay, great, wonderful. Those were my questions.
Superintendent Fulmore.
For clarification, all things that we're discussing in CSAF doesn't mean that it will be part of the final CSAF. So we will discuss Portrait of a Graduate. That does not guarantee it will be part of the Charter School Accountability Framework.
Thank you for that information. Superintendent Fulmore. Hearing nothing else, thank you, Ms. Day, for that presentation. And now we can, you want?
Action item.
I know, I'm going to the next one, right?
Yeah. We thought,
Y'all want to do that?
yeah, go for it.
All right, moving on to action items. 4.1, adoption of resolution 28-25 to reevaluate and discontinue the One App Enrollment NOLA program. Recommendation action. It is recommended by Lindell Davis that the board approve resolution 28-25. May I have a motion to move item 4.1 to the full board? Hearing no motion, Therefore, the resolution fails to move forward. Is that correct?
Yes, if there's no motion, then the item fails.
Okay, all right. Moving to 4.2, the Einstein, action item 4.2, the Einstein Group, Inc.'s voluntary surrender of the charter for Village de l'Est Elementary School. Recommended action. It is recommended that the Orleans Parish School Board accept the Einstein Group, Inc.'s voluntary surrender of its charter to operate Village de l'Est Elementary School, Site Code WBA, in accordance with Orleans Parish Policy HB, effective June 30th, 2026. May I have a motion to move item 4.2 to the full board?
So moved.
Second. It's been moved by President Beaudoin and second by Leila Eames. Is there any public comment?
There's no public comment on this action item.
Is there a motion? It's been moved and seconded. Huh? Yes?
Board comment? Board comment?
Right. Are there any board comments? Ms. Beaudoin and then Mr. Zervigon.
I just wanted to thank, for this and the other items, the leadership, thank the Einstein Group for the leadership here. You know, especially understanding the current situation in our school system. Pardon? Oh, I'm sorry. And just to thank the board for their leadership here.
Recognize Mr. Zervigon.
Thank you, Ms. Eames. Yeah, you know, looking at the numbers that the Einstein Charter Group was working with in terms of the number of campuses, the number of students, number of buildings, the number of seats available, and that they are making the sort of a smart, needed, difficult decision to consolidate a number of campuses into one campus. And we've been asking charter operators to consider what they can do to try to maximize the use of buildings and reduce the vacancies of seats and all that. And this is a big step forward. And I thank them for that. And I think that there's probably a limit to what operators can do voluntarily on their own before we are going to have to start looking at the complicated and difficult decisions. As per our conversation about Leah Chase earlier, this is what the Einstein Charter Group is working with as well. And so just, you know, everyone, I think we need to prepare ourselves for doing something sooner rather than later to address this situation. And I commend the Einstein Charter Group for taking this action to strengthen their programs.
Okay, thank you, Board Member Zervigon. And Einstein Groups happens to be in District 1, so we make great decisions in District 1. And I applaud them for being the leaders in this endeavor of right-sizing our schools. And they're moving in, Village de l'Est is moving into a much better building at the Sherwood Forest building. So we're excited about that. So I want to thank personally the board members of Einstein Network and their leader, Dr. Tara Johnson. So thank you. And thank you, Superintendent Fulmore, because you worked with them and talked with them to help them come to where they needed to land. So thank you for that. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, it moves on. Action item 4.3, the Einstein Group, Inc. voluntarily surrender charter for Einstein Middle School. Recommended action. It is recommended that the Orleans Parish School Board accept Einstein Group, Inc. voluntary surrender of its charter to operate Einstein Middle School, Site Code WBN, in accordance with OPSB Policy HB, effective June 30th, 2026. May I have a motion to move item 4.3 to the full board?
Yes, so moved.
Second.
Moved by Board Member Zervigon, second by President Beaudoin. Any board public comment?
There's no public comment on this item.
Any board comment? We just ditto everything we said before. Correct. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. This item will move on to full board. Moving on to 4.4, the Einstein Group, Inc.'s voluntary surrender of charter for Sarah T. Reed High School. Recommended action. It is recommended that the Orleans Parish School Board accept the Einstein Group, Inc.'s voluntary surrender of its charter to operate Sarah T. Reed High School in accordance with OPSB policy HB effective June 30th, 2026. May I have a motion to move item 4.4 to the full board?
Yes, so moved.
Moved by Board Member Zervigon, second by Board Member President Boudwin. Is there any comment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So
Okay, we have three public comment cards on this action item. The first of which is from Gregory Lee, followed by Tiffany Delcourt, and then Frawan Cooley.
Okay, let's start again. There you go. I didn't know about the mic. Thank you. I should know that I'm a journalist. I should have known better. Again, good afternoon. I'm Gregory Lee Jr., president of the Sarah T. Reed Alumni Association. And I'd like to read a letter to you from our board. Dear Superintendent Fulmore and members of the Orleans Parish School Board, for more than 3 decades, Sarah T. Reed High School has stood a legacy as a legacy institution and a generational anchor for families across New Orleans East. As the school prepares to close under the leadership of the Einstein Charter Network, we, the alumni of Sarah T. Reed High School, write with one clear and unified request. The campus at 5316 Michoud Boulevard will no longer operate as a school, but the name, identity, and legacy of Sarah T. Reed must be preserved and carried forward. We begin by recognizing the difficult decision made by the Einstein Charter Board regarding the relinquishment of the Sarah T. Reed Charter. We understand the realities they faced, including enrollment, performance, and facility constraints. And we appreciate the educators and staff who continued serving students through this period. As a demonstration of our clarity and alignment, the Sarah T. Reed alumni community formally submitted a letter to the Einstein Charter Group expressing our support for their resolution to relinquish the charter. Our support reflects our understanding that the decision was made with the students' best interests in mind. With the charter now being relinquished, we respectfully ask the superintendent and Orleans Parish School Board to open the door for qualified operators to adopt the Sarah T. Reed name, brand, and likeness as part of their high school program at a new site. We want to be clear. This request is not about keeping the school at the current building. We understand that remaining at Michoud is not an option. Our focus is on protecting and continuing legacy, not the physical location. Recent conversations have focused narrowly on academic scores, facility conditions, but those indicators do not tell the full story of Sarah T. Reed. For more than 30 years, Reed has produced graduates, raised families, served their communities, and contributed to civic and economic life of New Orleans and beyond. Reed alumni can be found today as educators, nurses, engineers, law enforcement officers, entrepreneurs, nonprofit leaders, faith leaders, military service members, and public service, and me, a journalist. What stands out just as strongly is the lasting connection alumni maintain with their school.
Mr. Lee.
Yes, I'm over time?
Yes,
Okay,
Mr.
well,
Lee.
that's fine, that's fine. I just wanted to emphasize what the Alumni Association is to maintain our legacy going
Got it.
forward. Thank
We
you.
got it. Thank you. Appreciate it very much. So thank you very much.
Okay, our next comment card is from Ms. Tiffany Delcourt.
Good afternoon. Tiffany Delcourt, New Schools for New Orleans, 1555 Poydras Street, 70112. Good afternoon, board. Good afternoon, Dr. Fulmore. As many of you know, New Schools for New Orleans has been working for the past several years to highlight the needs of the sustainability challenges and the enrollment concerns that our system has. And to echo the comments of this board, we also commend Einstein Charter Group for this very difficult but very necessary decision that reduces the overall seat capacity of our system and removes 2 low-quality facilities from our school system. These are the very difficult discussions that all of our school boards and charter school boards are having, unlike the difficult conversations that this board is having about Leah Chase. This is just the reality of what is facing our schools as we challenge and continue to see overall reductions in enrollment. New Schools for New Orleans will continue to support Einstein Charter Group through the remainder of the school year with teacher retention stipends and also enrollment process funds as well. And again, we commend this very, very difficult decision and the sustainable school it does provide for the students that they have. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Can everyone hear me? Yes. My name is Irajan Cooley, and I have the chance of representing Sarah T. Reed High School Alumni Association as the treasurer. For sake of time, I'm not going to read the entire letter, but I'm going to highlight some key areas. Dear Superintendent Fillmore and members of the Orleans Parish School Board, we are writing on behalf of Sarah T. Reed High School Alumni Association to honor the legacy of Sarah Tiles Reed and the power of the alumni. Sarah Tiles Reed was more than an educator. She was one of Louisiana's most influential champions of justice, equity, and dignity in public education. Beginning her career in New Orleans public schools in 1910, she became a pioneering advocate for teachers' rights, founding the city's first teachers' union and fighting tirelessly for equal pay for women and Black educators. Her leadership contributed to the landmark 1928 law prohibiting sex-based salary discrimination in Louisiana, reshaping the teaching profession for generations. I'm now going to move down to what it takes to be an Olympian, what it means to be an Olympian. Since Sarah T. Reed High School opened, it has produced countless talented individuals who continue to carry the school's name, legacy, and brand with pride. Among them are August Alsina, Terrence Osborne, Luke James, Walter Williams, and Michael Peterson, better known as Partners in Crime, and Tank from Tank and the Bangers, just to name a few. To be an Olympian is to be a part of a powerful legacy built on excellence, resilience, creativity, and community pride. Our school has consistently excelled across numerous programs, including auxiliary marching units, our choir, our basketball team, baseball, softball, volleyball, football, and our iconic marching band, the Sounds of Dynamite. The legacy and brand of Sarah Tiles Reed represents a community grounded with encouragement, commitment, and pride. Preserving her name is not only about honoring the past, it is about inspiring the future generations to come. Okay, I'll end there, but thank you. I think you all got the point.
Thank you.
Ms. Cooley, your address for the record.
1620 Caruso Avenue, Gretna, Louisiana, 70056. Thank you.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. All right, it's been moved and, okay, you have comments? Okay.
All right, I was waiting for all three to make my comments. I want to just echo what the board has already shared about the leadership of Dr. Tara Johnson and her team and Dr. Delaney and the Einstein Group board. I know that this decision has not been easy, and I've listened to the emotional and the highs and lows of this decision-making process. The school leadership and the board care for Sarah T. Reed deeply in every single school under their governance. And these decisions are not hard or not easy for anybody to make. And we commend them for taking the time to really assess the enrollment, the data, and all the things that create a quality experience for the children and making a decision in their best interest. What I can tell you, as I've said to the board and Dr. Johnson, that I will put it out there for other operators to consider the namesake. That is a separate process from here, and it's something that will be personal to any other school operator to, go through that process and taking on a new identity. But I am committed to creating that space to seek interest in doing that. And we are also committed to supporting the school through the transition process. We will, pending the action of the board, conduct our next steps that will then be on NOLA PS to carry out on behalf of families to support with enrollment, and we will set up those opportunities to make sure that students have the opportunity to make the next decision for their future. So I want to thank the team, and I want to thank the support of my Chief of Staff, Justin McCorkle, who is also an alumni of Sarah T. Reed and who's been in the thick of it on the ground as well. So it's been a collective effort, and I thank this board for supporting these tough decisions that we've asked our operators to make and consider. So thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Fulmore. It's been moved and second. We had the public comment. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, it will move on to the full board. Moving to action item 4.5, second reading of charter operating agreement with the Einstein Group, Inc. for Sherwood Forest Elementary School. Recommended action. It is recommended that the Orleans Parish School Board approve amendments to the Einstein Group, Inc.'s charter operating agreement for Sherwood Forest Elementary School to return to serving grades K-8 effective June 30th, 2026. May I have a motion to move this item to the full board?
So moved.
A second.
Mr. Marshall, second by Ms. Beaudoin, President Beaudoin. Is there any public comment?
There's no further public comment for
Any
this
board
committee meeting.
comment? Seeing none, there's been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. This meeting is now adjourned. May I move, someone please move
So
to
moved.
have, moved by Mr.
Second.
Marshall, second by President Baldwin. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The time is 2:37. Thank you.
Mr. McCorkle. Would you-